Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Team Gohan Fighter back with another video, and today it is finally back. My Who Would Win breakdown series after the long hiatus. So we are breaking it down, and we are doing the Sailor Scout herself, Sailor Mars, aka Rei Hino, from Sailor Moon, taking on the Princess Azula, aka from the Fire Nation. Princess Azula from the Fire Nation. I'm sorry. From Avatar: The Last Airbender, obviously. So you guys pretty much know how, or if you don't, know how I do my versus battles. 4 categories: strength, speed, skill/technique, and durability. And so without any further ado, let's start with Sailor Mars.
Let's start things off with Sailor Mars. Sailor Mars is one of the 5 original Inner Sailor Scouts of the Solar System, and was the 4th Sailor Scout introduced in the manga. Her civilian identity is known as Rei Hino. Her attacks are mainly based around fire, psychic powers, and spiritual powers. Rei is a Sailor Scout, aka Sailor Senshi. Each scout has a transformation sequence which grants her a uniform in her own theme colors and her own kind of elemental power. These powers come from an object called Sailor Crystal, said to be within each of them. They were all associated with a specific planet or heavenly body, and their powers often manifested themselves as the ability to manipulate particular elements. Their association with their celestial body was generally manifested in the form of a planetary symbol, which appeared on their foreheads at certain points, or appeared as a motif in their costumes or items. Mars' power and makeup is the first command used by Rei to transform into Sailor Mars in the manga and the anime. As Sailor Mars, she can perform many fire-based attacks. One of her most notorious attacks is known as the Mars Flame Sniper. Sailor Mars uses a Mars arrow to fire a flaming arrow at her enemies. She gained this powerful ability after transforming into her Super Sailor form with the Mars Crystal. Mars is an extraordinary fighter, but she usually fights with other scouts by her side. Though she has been successful during a few one-on-one situations, almost all of her combat experience was formed through teamwork. This will have an effect on Mars during the fight specifically because she will be all alone in this match. She is also really young and still in school. Sailor Mars does have plenty of raw power, and with scouts by her side, she can perform plenty of powerful team attacks, but being alone does limit her arsenal and maximum power potential.
Come on! Mars Crystal Power!
86 years after the Airbender genocide, Princess Azula was born to the Fire Nation. She was the second born of Prince Ozai and Princess Ursa. Through high expectations and general neglect, Azula was shaped into a spectacular bender with a sadistic temperament. She was able to conduct a coup against the Earth Empire, taking the throne for herself. She contended with the Avatar on several occasions, often taking the upper hand. Just before Sozin's Comet, she was named as one of the youngest Fire Lords in their history. In spite of all that, she still broke down under pressure. Under the stress of losing her friends with the added responsibilities of an entire nation, Azula became insane, losing her otherwise controlled sensibilities. Even so, she was still one of the most powerful firebenders in raw ability. That, coupled with her practiced hand in battle, would make her both one of the most reckless and experienced fighters of her day.
We defeated you for all time! You will never rise from the ashes of your shame and humiliation!
Okay, so now for strength, we're gonna explain this right now, short and sweet. Sailor Mars, pretty much, as you can see from right now from this manga scan, is pretty much a city buster from her fire attack, as you can see. So pretty much we know she is city busting, at least in the show. So yeah, pretty much Sailor Mars pretty much has got her strength down with all her fire attacks, as we got the Mars arrow and all that other good stuff. But city busting level. Now we get to Azula. Now Azula has shown some impressive fire strength feats. I mean, she nearly killed Aang if it wasn't for the fact that Katara, like, saved him with the special water thing. But she has never once shown any specific type city busting, strength feats. I mean, she did conquer Ba Sing Se, but I mean, like, she didn't actually like destroy the city. She conquered it from the inside out. Convincing the Dai Li agents to, join her. Basically, she's never once shown city busting strength. So just for that feat alone, pretty much it makes it quite clear cut that the edge for strength goes to Sailor Mars. Now for speed. Okay, so when it comes down to speed, both Sailor Mars and Azula haven't really shown any real significant travel speed feats. Sailor Mars is normally, in her, regular form, before she has to transform into her Sailor Scout form to, work as a team. So they're usually fighting in a battle. They're not usually running towards certain spots, and when they are, it's in the regular form until they transform into their Sailor Scouts forms. So they don't really have any significant travel speed feats. Same with Princess Azula. Now one would say, oh, well, she does. Not really. As a matter of fact, a lot of times Azula is seen traveling on the lizard. This lizard thing right here. So she doesn't really have that much travel speed feats either, because a lot of times she's, not really running, and a lot of times, again, she has assistance, because she's a princess usually, so she's used to that hospitality type stuff. But when it comes down to this whole issue, is travel speed is not a factor when it comes to this category, since both of these two are pretty much neutral when it comes to travel speed. However, that is not completely all the significance of a speed category, because there are pretty much two types of categories in most situations, and that is travel speed and that is combat speed. Travel speed, obviously, both are neutral. So this category really would come down to combat speed. Now, getting into combat speed, we have Sailor Mars.
I shall punish you! Don't you dare mimic me! Sailor Mars, don't do it! You'll be mimicked!
Okay, so did you catch that? Okay, so basically, just from that one feat alone, Sailor Mars, as you could see, she was able to dodge her own blasts, which by doing that, that is at least sound right there at the most, because she was able to react to her own attack. Keep in mind that this creature was mimicking her, because this creature can mimic attacks. So at least her combat / reaction speed is at least. And that is just at least lowballing this at sound. So now let's get into Princess Azula. Princess Azula has shown her power bending with her blue flame fire bending, where she uses her arms, as you can see in this picture, to use the combat speed to her advantage. However, this does cause a drain in her power, because this does take energy away. But also, let's show you this. Now, as you can see from this clip, Katara easily, with her water bending, was easily able to overpower Azula's firebending, or her blue firebending, which is her best bending attack. That's advanced firebending right there. Now, if it had not been for Zuko moments later, who interrupted this confrontation, Katara could have argumentally have beaten Azula right then and there, because she had her leg, she had her arm, and like I said, Azula wasn't able to physically react to that combat. That was her best attack, or best fire blast attack. That was advanced firebending right there. That was the special blue firebending. That's not normal firebending. And she was able to easily overpower it with ease. Now, one would say, oh, well, that was waterbending, so of course that would make sense. But in the Avatar universe, there are times where you can overpower your opponent. Your opponent, if you're an advanced enough bender. Zula, who's supposed to be an advanced enough bender, wasn't able to overpower Katara. And because of that, it proves that Azula isn't as strong as a lot of people would imagine. And also, it would also imagine to the fact of that she was not able to react to that attack. And like I said, she has shown not really that many other significant speed feats. Also, like I said, during battle she has used, her hands with her bending to freaking, glide around. But again, when you have like the calculations here, that just doesn't help. And so yeah, going into all the considerations, like I said, travel speed is pretty much neutral, but it comes down to combat speed, and pretty much Sailor Mars has better combat speed feats. And again, I was just lowballing her feat based on what the anime has provided me, and it could probably be a lot better in the manga. So with that being said, the speed edge has to go to Sailor Mars. I mean, there's just no question. So again, once again, the edge for speed goes to Sailor Mars. Okay, so now for skill / technique. So first and foremost, Sailor Mars has a technique where she can literally basically have this piece of paper it's in Japanese symbols. But basically, she can like place it on someone's forehead, right? And they'll be out, like they won't be able to move, basically. And she can actually do this without her Sailor Scout uniform. Like I've seen her do it in on the show, she's literally got this thing that can freeze people, which I'm going to show you guys right now.
Where are they?
Up here! Stop you in your tracks! Fire! Ignite!
Help! I can't move. I can't do anything.
So as you can see, she can do that. As well, Sailor Mars also has psychic abilities that she has, without her Sailor Scout uniform, again, in a normal human form. But not only that, she also has where she can combine her fire attack and turn it into a phoenix-type bird type thing. And that destructive capability was able to easily take out, her villain. And that's destructive force right there alone. As we all know, it's city busting again, but that's calling upon the fire with her Japanese symbol paper thing. So I'm going to show you that right now. Here we go.
You're sushi! I call upon the power of Mars! Fireballs! Charge! Mars Firebird Strike!
So yeah, as you can say, Sailor Mars has a lot of skills and technique. Now for Azula. Azula has a lot of different other skills besides her firebending with her techniques. She has other skills where she has very high agilities for quick reaction skills and stuff like that. And she also has some Agni Kai experience, as most firebenders do, from the Fire Nation at least. So she's got that, but other than that, she really has no feats for really any other skill and technique abilities like Sailor Mars does. And that's, one of the big consistency issues here is she doesn't really have those skill slash techniques. She just really has some of the techniques in her firebending, which is just really raw power, as we've seen as the end of the show progressed. Well, mainly the show progressed, but as we've seen in the end of the show and even in the comic books, is it's really only raw power. And as we've seen later on in the Fire Nation, is most firebenders adapted this, which Zuko and Aang learned how to learn how firebending actually is supposed to be like, where Azula is kind of just crazy when it comes to firebending. So yeah, in terms of skill slash technique, like I said, she hasn't shown really significantly anything. And like I said earlier, Sailor Mars can, use her Japanese paper thing to basically, freeze her essentially, from moving basically. So yeah, pretty much it's clear cut where the check mark is going for this. The skill slash technique edge is going to Sailor Mars. Now for durability. So we know Sailor Mars, as we've seen earlier, her strength feats the city busting. But also Sailor Mars has rarely been taken out, mainly because she's working as a team. Her durability is pretty strong though, because again, like when she's fighting, she rarely has been taken out.
Is hotter as in fire temperature and fire capability. It's simple science, people. Just take a look at some of Mars' face metal-based objects and enemies. You can easily see that Sailor Mars has much quicker and more powerful fire attacks that melts right through the metal. At Sailor Mars' strongest, she can be considered city busting.
Severely, and when she has been taken out, it's been to some certain situation and stuff like that. And it's kind of hard to call mainly because they work mostly as a team. But to take assumes right because of this, and because her destructive output is the way it is, we are going to just assume that her durability is probably in her Sailor Scout form. At probably the bare minimum is probably mountain durability. Just based on the facts that she can bust the city and on her fire already, and like I said, they've rarely been able to get hit, especially since they work as a team. But that's of course the inconsistencies of the show, and you can't blame it there. So now let's move on to Azula. So Azula, her durability, she's been taken out by a lot of people. Katara at the end of Avatar froze herself and then froze Azula, and then was able to moments later unfreeze herself and then basically just take out Azula that way. Azula has been taken out even by her friends, pretty easily. With Ty Lee using her, blocking the bending. So her durability is not that impressive. And yeah, so again, there's nothing really there for Azula. And with her durability, when she's getting taken out with easy attacks, she's being taken out with literally the most easiest attacks. She's definitely powerful in raw power, but when it comes to durability, no, she's no. So where this is going. The the edge check mark for the durability edge goes once again to Sailor Mars. So there you have it. As the check marks come in, pretty much it's clear cut who I believe the official winner of this match is. That's right, Sailor Mars is the official winner of this battle. Yeah, 4 out of 4 categories go straight to Sailor Mars, and that's how this fight goes. It's pretty much clear cut. Azula really doesn't have a chance in this fight, guys, and I pretty much wanted to do this fight to kind of explain how really this fight isn't the best fight. I mean, I understand it, Firebender versus, Fire Scout, you know. I know there's some people that have requested, I've seen Sailor Jupiter versus Azula, because she can lightning bend and, Jupiter can, like, lightning. There's other ones for Mercury and Katara, which they're cool ideas. I get it. Water, bubble, cool. But the thing is Avatar characters are regular humans, and though Sailor Scouts are regular humans too, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have, like, city busting attacks. Avatar characters don't. I mean, there's the possibility of the Sozin Comet thing, but we've never really seen what that actually can do. It was able to wipe out the Airbenders, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it was able to wipe out the Airbenders, but that's a nation that's like just, and the Air Nomads, they're like one of the smallest nations, out there compared to like the Earthbenders, which are the biggest, and then there's the fire and then the water. So we can't really calculate on the projection of what the Air Nomads are, but basically what I'm trying to say is, though they're really interesting ideas to do this fight, really realistically, you know what I'm saying? Realistically, Azula can't win this fight is basically what I'm trying to get at. So that's what I gotta say. I hope you enjoyed this fight, and my return to my breakdown videos. Unfortunately, the Sailor Scouts are too strong for the Avatar characters, is basically what I'm trying to say. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully I will not be on a hiatus as much as I was from the last time I started doing versus battles. Hopefully we'll be doing more, because I've been trying to get them out, but there's just so many things going on lately. But I hope you enjoyed this. Once again, official winner of this fight is Sailor Mars. Comment, rate, let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. And let me know about any other future ideas you want me to do. That's about it. Comment, rate, again. If you like this video, please subscribe. And that's about it. I'm Team Gohan Fighter. I'm out of here. Peace!